Presentations, background image, or color. Okay, picking up where we left off, 2208. Okay, we'll save as 2209. Call this one begin. And then we'll do another save as, and that will be complete. Background image or color. Okay, so let's talk about the background image or color. Of course, this all has to do with rendering. It's all leading up to rendering. First thing I want to do is let's go to the sheet. So we're going to go to A102 Live 3D Views. Now, I want to show you this because this is a common mistake. I made it myself. Right-click on the view, say Activate the view, and you want to render it. You can't. The render button, which is the little teapot, is grayed out. Let's just right-click and deactivate the view. If you go back up to the root view, which is Addition Exterior, that's where you can render. So let's go up there to 3D Views, Addition Exterior. Here we are. Okay, so let's talk about the background. So if I click on the rendering dialog, there it is available. Right here under background, you have basically three choices. Mental Ray, which is the rendering engine for Revit, it'll choose one of those, okay? Sky no clouds, which is the fastest, then you got very few clouds and so on. They're pretty good for most stuff. You can also go with a color. So if I click on color, you can just say, okay, put it at a color. Now, the good thing about this is you can put it at, let's say, white, maybe green or something like that. It almost behaves like a green screen, and you could render it. Everything behind is going to be turning green. And then when you bring that into, let's say, Photoshop or something, you can just pick that color and get rid of it. And then you can use that to put this on any sort of background that you want. Okay, so that's one technique. The other technique is just to put your image right on here. So if I click on image, I can click on the image button and I can go to either one. I put in a couple just for your choice here. There's Sky Clouds 2 and 1. Let's do 2 again. That was the decal that we used. I'm just going to say okay, okay, and let's render that. So now instead of a color or instead of the typical mental ray, it's going to actually put in this image. Okay, looks pretty bad in my opinion. Click on Customize Image, and you can do different things. Like you can say, let's just stretch it so it fits, and then we could render it again. Now, keep in mind, we didn't put in any shrubbery, we didn't put any other buildings around. That's all stuff that you actually want to do when you're doing a nice rendering, okay? So we can click on the image again. Maybe we want to try Clouds 1. Okay, there's another one. We can say stretch again, render that. Again, no matter what we do, it's going to look a little bit funny because of the lack of other stuff that we have there. That one's a little bit better. It's a little bit low on the horizon for our view, but I think you get the idea there. Okay, well, we can always save these renderings that we do. Maybe we want to just mark our progress. Draft renderings are always going to be ugly like this because they're just giving you a very quick, almost just to see the colors and the basic materials. We could save that and just call that one Addition Exterior Test 1. Now, you also have some choices on the background just right within your view. Like this is set to realistic mode. I could go into the background of this. Like I could say visual styles, graphic display options, and this background, I could say, give me a gradient. I like to use a little bit brighter blue than they give us. And then you can apply that, and there you go. Sometimes that gives sort of a nicer look. We can say show ambient shadows as well. Gives it more of a soft shadow look. And then we can say okay. Okay, and then if we go down to our live 3D views, that will have affected it there. It looks a little bit dark. Let's just refine that a little bit. I'll right click, activate the view, and let's go in here, graphic display options. Let's just bump up that sun, hit apply, and then that'll brighten it up. Okay, shadows, we'll leave those. The ambient light also, we could pick that up a little bit. That's how you can play with those settings. I find cast shadows, you can put that on, but it tends to darken things quite a bit. If that's the case, you can lighten up the shadows. All right, let's take off the ambient shadows and just use normal shadows. I kind of like that. Let's say okay, right click and deactivate view. Ultimately, one day we'll be able to just not even have to press the render button. It'll just be rendered live. That day is coming probably sooner than any of us realize. Okay, so let's go to View, close hidden windows, save what we've done, and we can shut that down.